guys, I think this is going to be my last video on talking about grief and loss, and I wanted to talk today about my counselling journey and kind of bereavement group and a few other things as well. So I'm really glad that my dad ended up in the hospice, partly because it was really good for him in the end, just kind of making him comfortable and things like that, but also because during his illness and afterwards, especially afterwards, they've helped me so much, the staff there. So I started my counselling, I'm not exactly sure when, but probably about kind of November time last 2019. He passed away at the end of September, so it's a little bit of a wait, but I was really busy with a lot of stuff anyway. It really helped me at the time to be able to kind of talk about things that had happened during my dad's illness, and then stuff that I was dealing with at the time, and kind of it helped to get feedback as well, because like my counsellor was so nice, so lovely, and she kind of, because I was seeing her every week at the first, so I was kind of talking to her about what I'd done that week, and she kind of showed me the things that I'd achieved. I probably wouldn't have noticed before because I was so busy doing everything. I just kind of just getting on with it, and she helped me see the achievements. Also, she was one of the first people, apart from my mum, that I talked to about autism as well. Yeah, it really helped to kind of discuss it with her, just kind of at the beginning when I was just finding everything out. So that really helped. So yeah, originally I started going every week, but after a while it kind of, I would run out of things to say a little bit, so she kind of suggested, why don't we do it every other week? And then kind of more time had passed, and I had kind of more things that I'd done, more things to talk about, and yeah, so that was good as well. And just before Christmas, probably in December sometime, she mentioned the free aromatherapy sessions that I could have, which I'd not known about before. So she told me about those and kind of referred me to the aromatherapy lady. I started just before Christmas, I think, and then every week after Christmas, there goes my cat. So I had 6 sessions over, I think it was about 12 weeks, I think, because sometimes it was every other week and then it started being every week near the end. So she did either massage, Reiki, which I didn't really think much of, I had that once, and reflexology, which I really enjoyed. That really helped me. I remember the first initial appointment that I had with her, and she kind of took a lot of details down at the beginning just to see what had happened, and kind of took all my details down, and she had a chance to do half an hour head, neck and shoulder massage at the end, which was good. And I didn't realise how tense my kind of neck and my shoulders were because of all the pressure I was under and everything that had happened. So it was kind of, when she was working her way through, through my muscles, it kind of hurt because I was so tense. And yeah, so that really helped. But reflexology with my feet, that was the best thing. I had that quite a few times. I think I heard about the bereavement group before. I think my counsellor had mentioned it, but I didn't think it was for me because I kind of struggle in group situations with autism and everything anyway, so I kind of thought that's not really going to be an option. But I kind of fell into it really, because before one of the sessions of my aromatherapy, I was waiting outside in the main room of the therapy unit, and the aromatherapy lady was delayed with the last client. She kind of popped out and said, "Oh, I'm running about 15 minutes behind," so I was okay. So I kind of sat down, staring at my phone, feeling a bit kind of lonely, and the bereavement group session was going on in the same room, and I didn't know anybody there, so I didn't feel like I could join in, and so I just kind of sat engrossed in my phone. And after a little while of waiting, the group had a break for kind of for a drink, and I remember one or two, I think one man came up to me and kind of asked if I was okay, and I really wasn't, but I didn't know the person, so I just kind of said, "Yeah, I'm fine," like you usually do. And at the same time, I was kind of thinking I just wanted the floor to swallow me because I felt just so like overwhelmed by everything. And in the end, I got into the aromatherapy lady's room and told her what had happened and burst into tears. So it was kind of, yeah, I think because it was the first one after Christmas and New Year, because that time was okay. It was kind of a chilled time that I spent with my family, but at the same time, I did really miss my dad. So, and she kind of said something that I didn't really think about, and it was kind of that New Year can be harder than Christmas sometimes because you're going into the new year and not taking that person with you into that new year. So that made me cry even more. So, but yeah, that was something I'd not thought of before. So I was having a little think while the session was going on, and I mentioned at the end that I might want to try and go to the group therapy, just so that the same thing wouldn't happen again, and I'd kind of get to know the people that were there. So the aromatherapy lady told me, "Oh, it's 9 till 12 every Thursday in this room, so just come and yeah, we'll welcome you." So to me, I always kind of want to be early or on time for things. So the next week, the Thursday morning, I got up really early and got through traffic, like work traffic. I got there just after like 9:05 and walked into the room, and it was empty apart from like 2 or 3 staff. So what I didn't realise and what nobody had told me is that people started coming to the arriving to the group at more like kind of 9:20 onwards, and then the official kind of activity started at 10. But no one told me that, so I kind of got there on my own. But in the end, it was quite good really, because I got to get comfortable in the room and have a chat to the staff. And one of the staff members actually was somebody that also works as a nurse in the ward side. So he remembered my dad as well, which was good. So it was kind of nice to have a chat with him and see how I was getting on and things. And then as other people were arriving, I kind of got more comfortable, and yeah, I could kind of introduce myself rather than kind of getting to the group with everybody sat down comfortable. And yeah, it just helped, I think. The bereavement group wasn't what I kind of thought it would be. It was much more relaxed. They had a topic each week, which was things to help you grieve for your person that you lost. And it was good because you could, if you didn't want to join in the group discussions, there was a craft table as well, so you could kind of sit there and do some colouring or do a bit of art and craft work, which I quite enjoy. So there's a nice lady as well who kind of listened if you just wanted to talk to her rather than kind of in the group. And I preferred the kind of little group discussions, because sometimes kind of 5 or 6 people would go into a separate room and do the discussion topic there. So that was much more my comfort zone than the big groups. There were probably 20 odd people, maybe a little bit more, and I would kind of try to kind of put my points across, but I did feel a bit intimidated because a lot of the people, most of the people, were older than me. They were, don't get me wrong, they were all lovely, and they'd lost kind of husbands and wives rather than fathers or mothers, so I did feel a little bit out of it sometimes, but I did get involved when I could and kind of put a few points across, which was good, and just chatted to the people kind of in the beginning and the end. And it was really nice as well because they had biscuits and tea and squash and things, and also some people brought cake in sometimes as well, so that was kind of really good. So, but all the staff were really lovely and helpful, and yeah, really it's really worthwhile going. And I've actually made a really good friend as well from there, because one of the ladies who was more nearer to my age, she actually lives in the same village as me. We were chatting at the end of one session, and once we found that out, we swapped telephone numbers, and we kind of look out for each other as well. Recently we've been for kind of social distancing walks, and I used to go to her house for a drink and things, so yeah, that's kind of something that's really good that's come out of it. I did wonder once lockdown started whether I would miss the group, and in some ways I do. It's kind of, it was a nice little routine to go every week and have that to look forward to. But also, I think for me, it's been good to kind of not dwell on things and not have kind of people around me that are going through maybe worse than I am or something like that. So it's kind of helped me to kind of get a bit of distance from the discussions and the grief, basically, to grieve in my own way at home, but also to kind of do other things and take my mind off it as well, which also helps. I think the last thing I want to talk about is, well, 2 things. First of all, when it would have been my dad's birthday and I went to the session, which thankfully was on the same day, and also the kind of milestones from when the person passes away to kind of moving on and the kind of grief process. Grief isn't a straight line. It kind of goes like this, up and down. So sometimes it can be really hard and overwhelming, and then other times it's kind of, it's okay. It's not the most important thing that you're thinking about. I'm sure you could probably find them on kind of Google and YouTube and things. But the main ones I was told was like a month after they passed, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then a year. So the year is like the grieving process, like differs from person to person. For me, it was more like 6 months, but it's going through those each milestones. It reminds you of the person. So I'm not sure what I'll be like when it's a year in September, but I can see how far I've come from even kind of a few months ago. I can see how much I've improved. The upsetting thing for me was when it would have been his birthday in February. Luckily, as I said before, it was on a Thursday when my bereavement group was, and I was dreading the day. And as I was driving to the session in the morning, I'd cried a couple of times already in the car when I was driving, so I knew that it was affecting me, and I was really emotional. And when I got to the group, I didn't really want to speak to anybody. I just kind of looked down, and luckily my one-to-one counsellor came past and kind of said hello, and I think she must have realised that something was wrong. So she took me to a separate room and we had a little session then, and I had a good cry, so that was really helpful. And so yeah, I don't know what I would have done without the bereavement group, because it was just a really big help. So I think that's it for now. I'm gonna do probably a few more videos on autism in the weeks to come. Feel free to put comments if you want, and like the video if you do like it. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in a little while. Okay.